Okay, okay. All right. Lex Steele, how's it going, man?
Very good. Very good.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Brother Conscious Show, my good brother. Lexington Steele, the legendary veteran porn star, man. How's it going, my good brother?
Oh man, it's been good. The year started out pretty good, so I can't complain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm very humble and I'm honored that you on my show right now, man. Talk about, what I'm saying, your beginning, your origin, all that stuff, man. So, where are you originally from, my brother?
Originally New Jersey, um, and New Jersey and New York. Um, that's pretty much it. Manhattan in particular, um, and went to school um, upstate New York. Went to Syracuse. So essentially, I've been an East Coast guy um, until 28. I didn't move to Los Angeles until 28.
That's what's up, man. So before you got yourself in the adult porn industry, right? You was a stockbroker, right? Tell me that journey, man. How was it like being a stockbroker?
Well, it was unique um, in terms of it hadn't been why I went to college. I didn't really decide to go into finance until um, my senior year at Syracuse, and I got into I started learning about high finance, and so I had an interest in being going to the legal field or either into educational field because I had studied to be a historian. um, so when I got out of college, I immediately took a job on Wall Street, literally on Wall Street, as a broker trainee. And then so it took me about a year of being a trainee before you get the opportunity to test to become a licensed broker. And between that first firm and my second firm, I did it for close to 6 years before I went to porn, before I started doing movies.
Correct, correct. That's what's up, man. So this is a crazy transition, man. How'd you go from a stockbroker into the adult entertainment business, man? Like who introduced you to the business?
Well, essentially, um, I really wouldn't have had any inroad into the business other than once I became a licensed broker. Um, the guys at my firm, it's kind of like once you become licensed and you become a self-generating participant, not someone that's on salary, but someone who's making their own money for themselves and for the firm. You get introduced to the lifestyle of those Wall Street brokers. Now, the whole stereotype of Manhattan Wall Street brokers, not everybody that's a broker is a distinctly or uniquely Wall Street broker. That's why I said it was a unique circumstance. Because many people can say they're a licensed stockbroker, whatever, whatever, but you are not a Wall Street broker unless you are trained in the ways that Wall Street brokers were trained. So the whole thing about working hard and playing hard um, is true. All right, beyond measure. So when I became licensed, the recreation that I was introduced to is how I ended up meeting people that would lead me towards the adult industry as a path. So it wasn't like had I went into another profession, I may never have met anyone that would have landed me into porno. Um, once I was licensed and being at the bottom of the food chain is not a bad thing as a broker. It's just that you're at the same party. Now you're at the party, right?
Right.
But there are people there that make exponentially greater than you make, but you're still at the party. See what I'm saying? You just got there. They may have tenure on you. They know that you'll get where they are. So you're invited to the same stuff that the guys that make seven figures a month are going to. And in that environment, I met photographers, video producers. Now this is on the East Coast. So when I started, this was when I started this was around 95, 96, and it was primarily magazine oriented, hardcore magazines. Very, very little video was shot in on the East Coast at that point. So progressively, I met a magazine guy who introduced me to a video guy, and then I started shooting video professionally in 96, 97.
In '97, that's when I was born, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah. 1996, I took my first test, full panel STD test in December of 1996.
Right.
So that's right. That's before you were born, right? So
Right. I was born July 15th, '97. So yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so listen, man. So I guess that was the starting beginning of your career, correct?
Well, no. Well, yes. From an amateur compared to an amateur standpoint, I would say yes. Because the things that I did in New York um, prepared me in a way that when I got to LA in '98, I was very well prepared to be able to put on a good show and then catch on, and I was successful with that.
Right. That's what's up. That's up. Now, just to confirm with you about the women in the porn industry, right? A nice majority of them before they got in the industry, they were already exotic dancers. Other words, strippers. Strippers and porn stars fall under the same category, correct? Because it's all adult entertainment, right?
I would say no. I would say that they are distinct professions within the gentleman's entertainment, or no, they're distinct professions within the adult entertainment environment. Within that environment, you have dancers, you have performers, you have you have people that are into domination. So you would have these are from the women's side. You have a dominatrix. See what I'm saying? These are all parts of adult entertainment. Now you have people that cross over. A dancer may also be a performer. So there you have your proverbial stripper who also does porno, or she is an adult performer who also dances. They're interchangeable, but they are mutually respected. See what I'm saying? You could be a dominatrix that doesn't strip, but she's a performer because she does her dominatrix stuff on camera, but she may not be having sex. She may be dominating someone, but it's still adult entertainment. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think when I started, you had a lot of women that were in the business, not necessarily strippers. This is before they were performers; they were probably prostitutes of some sort. So if you are working a working person, that would be a distinct um, category as well. Because if you are a call girl, call person, a streetwalker, even that doesn't make you a performer. Because the performer is the one that is in the business of making a commercial product, which is distinctive from an escort or a prostitute or a streetwalker. See, there's distinction where the streetwalker, a call girl, an escort, there's levels to it. The escort being the highest echelon of that distinction. But an escort may not be a performer. A performer may not be. You see what I'm saying? So it's all interchangeable.
Right.
Uh, when I started, the women could come from any of those categories. I think as of late, this generation, you probably have girls that cross or check off a lot of the different categories simultaneously, because there's so much money that can be generated in the business why not have their positions in each of the different categories?
Right. Cool. That's what's up, man. So when you did your first scene for a porn company, what was the name of the porn company, and how was it like on that first scene? Were you nervous? Were you anxious?
Mhm. Well, definitely. I was nervous. Um, my anxiety level was at a minimum, and I can explain why. Um, you know, when I started going to those parties as a, once I was introduced into those parties that the brokers were going to,
You mean the porn parties? That's what you're referring to, porn
they weren't
parties.
porn, they weren't porn parties. No, no, this is prior to porn. This is I'm talking about the recreational activities of those people that were members of the financial community in Lower Manhattan around between 19. I didn't get in there until 93, but say between the 90s, right?
Right.
Proverbial 90s. Let me just put it like this: everything you see in the movies is very, very true to life. So I mean, I worked, my first firm at 67 Wall Street, right across the street from the J.P. Morgan building, was right next to the brokers firm. The brokers firm that was featured in Wolf of Wall Street. They had a firm, within the confines of the J.P. Morgan building. They leased space. So all that stuff we see in the movies, the level of recreation was true. Even the drug use. I wasn't into. Yeah, I didn't. I don't do coke, but coke was a big thing back then, and it was all true. So the partying was just the recreation of hardcore brokers. It wasn't porno. The measure of sexual activity at these parties compared to what you would see at a porno party, because you had money, drugs, and that equals sex a lot of times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they weren't triple X parties, but there was triple X shit happening. So being in that environment, a lot of the stuff that we were doing led to me meeting people in the lifestyle community. So I started, I would say, I became a swinger. For those who know what being a swinger is, there we go.
Right.
Right.
What's your definition of a swinger?
Well, I mean, okay. So a swinger would be a person who enjoys having sex with others who they are not familiar with, and that would include people that are married, um,
Right.
and single, and who enjoy non uh, or non-obligatory sex. And it's almost like the people that enjoy going to the park to run ball for an afternoon, right? So you go to the park to run ball. It's a pickup game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In other environments, I don't know whether, I don't know, you know, the origin where everybody comes from, but yeah, it's just those that enjoy having sex with others with no obligation. Um, and I started doing that around like 95. So a lot of those events, a lot of those parties, they had camcorders. So you would have a husband. This is when the camcorders and big ass camcorders, like, bah,
Right.
like them big ones, right? Like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So you have the husbands filming, the swinger party. And I was with the group out of New Jersey called the Gentle Giants, and we would travel up and down the coast, um, hosting swinger parties. And so I had a lot of experience in front of a camera, although it wasn't for commercial release. We were still being videotaped. So when I got my first opportunity, I was very, very nervous because it was the first time that it was for the creation of a commercial product.
Right.
See, with the Gentle Giants, we made money from hosting the parties, but